Hey, what's up, you guys? Wyattxhim here. I'm finally going to do a top 10 on a country I've been wanting to do a list for quite a while now. This is the top 10 Australian metal bands. Now, when I started getting into the scene of Australian metal, I always thought that, blankety blank on this list and blank on this list were, the two just amazing bands ever on in the scene, and I started progressing and looking more into just what this country has to offer in terms of what the music that it has. And let me tell you something, I think Australia's become one of my favorite countries now, just because of the music that comes out of it. It's really it varies really. It's all over the place, but it's not a mess though either. It's vast, and there's just so much that Australia has to offer when it comes to their music. I mean, when we think of Sweden, it's always just the death metal we focus on. When we think of Norway, it's always the black metal we think of. Australia is all over the place, and I love it, and that's why it's become one of my new favorites now for just overall countries that offers metal. So anyway, let's get this underway. Number 10 is, to start it off, they've only released one album, which is why they're kind of just a little low on this, and it's a Grave Upheaval. Yeah, this is some really dark and twisted death metal that is hard to come by nowadays, and figures Australia is one of the countries that seems to have a lot of it, and this is one prime example of it. Grave Upheaval has only released one demo and an album, pretty solid stuff that I really now want. And yeah, I really hope they continue on with their short career so far, because I feel like they have a lot more to offer in the scene as it continues. Next, number 9, I just discovered these guys a couple of hours ago, and all I can say is bravo. Sadly, this dude is not around anymore. I believe it's a one-man project. It's a atmospheric black metal, so you can kind of tell why I'm really in love with it right now. I believe it's called Austere, I believe, Auster. Just please do yourself a favor and check this out if you're really getting into atmospheric black metal, because sadly he's not around. He's split up with his band, kind of broken off, but oh my god, hopefully he comes back. From what I've heard so far in their 2009 release is something I fucking want to own right now for atmospheric black metal. Oh my god, just when I make my, list for atmospheric black metal bands, expect this to be in it, because this is some really magnificent stuff, and it's something I want in my collection. Just trust me on it. Next, number 8. The only reason why these guys beat Austere is because they're still around. This is Woods of Desolation. Once again, atmospheric black metal that I just have to applaud to, because these guys just once again, it's just so beautiful and breathtaking, but it has that harsh and dark elements to it to make it black metal, and I love every second of it, and I really hope I can see these guys live for one and own some CDs by them, because this is great atmospheric black metal that is, just like most atmospheric black metal bands, it's breathtaking, and it'll just take you off your feet, and off you go. Woods of Desolation, guys. Check them out. Next, number 7. I am extremely lucky I saw these guys at the Maryland Death Fest, because I doubt they'll ever come to America again. That's what I've heard. And this is Impetuous Ritual. Yeah, Impetuous Ritual. Holy cow, this is like really outstanding black and death metal that is very noisy, it's very destructive, and it's extremely intense. This is stuff that if you just want, pummeling music that just continuously is relentless and doesn't stop at all, this is the band you have to get into and support. So maybe they'll be like, let's go to America again type of mood, because they were definitely another band that blew me away in the Maryland Death Fest, along with a shit ton of other bands. But I'm not just saying it because they were at the Maryland Death Fest. These guys were great. Next, number 6. These guys have gained a lot of popularity over the past couple of years thanks to their new album Misery, which is Disentomb. These guys are really starting to rank up with a big fan base, and it's not hard to see why. Now, I know when I did the review of it, I made terrible mistakes on it, and I apologize for it, and I understand that it has a lot of dislikes, and I deserve all the hate for it, alright? Because I gave it somewhat of a negative rating of like a 65 or something, but after giving it more listens and, you know, kind of developing a different opinion on it, which, you know, people can do, I like it now. Like, I really do it. Like, I'm not forcing myself to like it. Usually when I say I don't like something, it's that. I just don't like it. But, I really wanted to give it maybe another chance because I just kept seeing all the positive feedback they got from it. And I'll be honest, for slam death metal, it's extremely good because they give a more apocalyptic and darker feel to it, which a lot of slam death metal bands just don't do nowadays. When it comes to slam death metal, we think of blood, gore, torture, grotesque, and raunchy stuff. Disentomb gives more of a darker and more of a realistic atmosphere that these guys create, and I applaud them for it, and I really enjoy their album Misery, and I look for it from time to time in my CD stores. Next, number 5. This is kind of another band I don't know why I never talked about that kind of introduced me to the whole extreme side of metal. Not like the death metal side, but the even extremer and intenser stuff. And this is one of them, believe it or not, and I totally forgot about them until now. Number 5 is the Berzerker. They'd be probably 2 or 3 on this list if it wasn't for the fact they're not around anymore. I really hope they get back on the wheel and start pumping out some crazy tunes again. Holy shit! These guys are on steroids and speed, it sounds like. Everything is full of meat and beef, and it sounds like it's on this ever-growing engine that's just grinding the meat continuously. The vocals are extreme as all fucking hell. Seriously, when you hear their older work, not their newer work, which is okay, their older work, which is fucking intense, it will blow the fucking hair off your head just how intense this stuff is. And I really hope, if I'm lucky one day, I can find some CDs by them, which is really hard to do, and hopefully, even though this will never happen, see them live. But these guys are, if you're a fan of Another Throck, thanks to me, you're gonna like them just as much. Trust me on it. Next, number 4, I discovered these guys today because one of my friends on Facebook just shared about them, that they're doing an Australian tour. And I'll be honest, this is another band that could be album of the year what's coming up by these guys. They're called Orpheus Omega, I believe. Melodic death metal that has that, Insomnium style to them. That's not all about blast beats and shouting and being all fast and whatnot. These guys have more of a tender and elegant side to them, which is what I love about it. There can be not technical, but really melodic riffs that come off a little bit technical to add more variety to their sound too, which is what I like about it. Overall, this is a band that I can see being another top 5 to album of the year contender from what I've heard from them so far from their previous work, and the little single they dropped really makes it sound even more promising. So yeah, check these guys out, because I'm probably going to be talking about them a lot more as the year continues on. Next, number 3. This is a band that I'm so lucky I discovered a few weeks ago, and they have been putting out some breathtaking stuff. Really, their best work, in my opinion, is their sophomore release, which you need to check out. This is Beligore, I believe they're called. Just like Orpheus Omega, but just has more elegancy, and it comes off even more breathtaking. And they easily make number 3 for me. They've only made 3 albums, but that's all I need to be satisfied with these guys. And I cannot wait to see what else they're going to put out in the near future, because everything these guys have made is just really laid back and beautiful. The vocalist is as chilled as you can get as it comes to vocal styles. And I love everything they've made so far and cannot wait to hear more. Next, number 2. I'm just so fucking lucky I've seen these guys, and I really hope I'm wrong when I say that will be the only time I'll ever see them at the Maryland Death Fest or just in general. But number 2 is Portal. Wow. They blew me away. They could easily be one of the greatest acts I've ever seen in my life. I'm not just saying this because they're number 2 on this list, because I've seen nearly over 100 acts, and Portal just still sticks in my mind as like, holy shit, I've seen them, holy shit, I've seen them. And Portal is a band unlike any other, in my opinion. Arguably, they're considered, what's that word? Experimental death metal. But I take it more as a blackened death metal for the most part of what I've heard from them. And I've heard nearly everything besides their EPs and compilations, which I should check out. But everything these guys have made is haunting. It's bone-chilling. It's intense. The guitarists are thick and heavy as all hell. The vocals are haunting and really heavy as all hell as well. And the drums are pumbling. Everything these guys have made somewhat has the same structure to them, but it still comes off unique and refreshing every time I listen to it. And these guys just happen to ring those right bells for me, because I am obsessed with them now, and they easily make number 2. Number 1, it's fucking obvious if you watch my channel, Obliviscaris. What else haven't I said about these guys already? You knew when I was going to make this list, you're going to click on this, and if you're a fan of me, you're like, oh, Obliviscaris is number 1 immediately. Oh my god, just fucking masters of what they made. They've only made 2 albums, but all I want is to continuously hear new stuff from them. They've released an EP this year that's already EP of the year for me. Don't even try to convince me otherwise, unless it's the Grimoire album, which I'm debating a little bit, but still. Obliviscaris' new EP that came out this year easily makes EP of the year for me. And, Citadel last year was an easy number 1. Oh, not an easy one, because they were going against another Throck, but they made album of the year for me that year at 2014. And fucking Portals of Eye is just as magnificent. Everything these guys have made, every song they've made, every instrument they've strummed, every beat they've hit is perfect. And I'm just lost for words with these guys. To this day, when I listen to Citadel, after nearly a year of listening to it, I'm still blown away. My breath is still taken. Everything is perfect. Hands down number 1. And yeah, that's my list. So if you have any agreements or disagreements, comment below, let me know. Love hearing your opinions and comment back to yours as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and supporting me. You guys are the fucking best, and keep it metal.